Rachel Nichols recently did a sit down with Draymond Green regarding his $100 million contract, Kevin Durant, and the Warriors' odds of making the playoffs. I'll put the link in the description below so you can watch the actual video. This interview was very telling, very revealing. One of the few quick things that really jumped out at me was the fact that Draymond, like everybody else, didn't know that Kevin Durant was going to the Nets until, it was announced.
I found out that he was picking Brooklyn when everybody else found out, which is exactly how it should be.
And he said that was the way it was supposed to be. But essentially that just hammered or rubber stamped the fact that there was a lot of tension between KD and the Warriors, and especially with Draymond and Kevin Durant, because if you really think about it, Kevin Durant would have learned from his mistake in OKC, and he would have said, hey, you know what? Hey, guys, I'm leaving. Don't say nothing or whatever the case is. And then he leaves or whatever. So this kind of brings me back to like Miami and LeBron when LeBron went back to Cleveland. Dwayne Wade didn't even know, and he was on a plane with LeBron, and nothing was ever said. So it doesn't necessarily mean the relationship is fractured, but it just means that there was a little distance between the two guys. I was very surprised to say that he spoke to him, just last week. He called him his brother. So
Absolutely. I actually talked to K yesterday. That's my brother. If someone would have told me, man, Kevin Durant's going to come to the Warriors, and you guys are going to win 2 championships and then have a shot at winning the third, would you take that?
So that's all water under the bridge. Everybody's going their own separate ways. Like Draymond said, it was definitely a success. They won 2 out of 3 championships. And the last championship they lost, it wasn't necessarily because the guys didn't play up to par. It was just because of injury, most likely. So that was a good way to go out. Draymond is extremely competitive. And like I said in previous videos, it is very unwise to write the Warriors off as to winning a championship. I think it's, not winning, just winning a championship, whatever, in the future. And I don't mean next season. I mean like in 3-4 seasons to come, because they still have 4 or 5 seasons left of basketball. But just saying that they wouldn't make the playoffs, Draymond was really, just like I am, very shocked that people would just write them off to not make the playoffs.
I've heard people say we're not going to make the playoffs. That's crazy to me. I mean, that's just like, that's total disrespect, but no different than the disrespect we've all been getting for years.
And it's very interesting because they added Willie Cauley-Stein. They added D'Angelo Russell, 2 guys that could really play. I guess Willie Cauley-Stein doesn't get enough airtime due to the fact that he was in Sacramento at the time, but he can play. D'Angelo Russell, we saw what he did in the playoffs. He can play. So you added 2 guys that could really play into the Warrior system, and they're gonna learn even more. I think it's very premature to say that, hey, these guys cannot do anything, or they're not gonna amount to anything. One of the key things that he talked about was that underdog chip.
It brings that underdog chip back, and I missed that chip. I'm pretty sure Steph missed that chip, and some of the stuff Clay been texting me this summer, I'm positive he misses the chips.
Philadelphia Eagles, after they won their Super Bowl against the New England Patriots, they said we were an underdog, but an underdog is a hungry dog. And that's one thing you guys got to remember. Okay, this is a perfect analogy. I think it was Rocky 2. Apollo Creed was training Rocky. He said, you see, Rocky, look, he was in the gym. He was like, everybody, look at everybody. They all got it. It seems like you lost it. And Rocky was like, what is that? He's like, that's the eye of the tiger. You don't got the eye of the tiger. So now you giving guys like Klay Thompson, Stephen Curry, Draymond Green the eye of the tiger because you're saying they're not winning a championship. They're not ever going to make the playoffs anymore. They're just not going to compete. It's extremely disrespectful, and it's premature. And now you're just giving these guys the eye of the tiger to come back and bust your ass. So it's going to be a really compelling season, not just this season, but the next season, because Kevin Durant's going to most likely come back the following season to see how the Nets match up, but just to see how the Warriors gel after that 1 year of rebuilding and relearning. If the Warriors make the playoffs next year, which most likely is probably gonna happen, if they go far in the playoffs or they make some noise, all that talk about them being, not be able to make the playoffs is going to be a moot point. So that was interesting, like how Draymond saying, like, he's texting Clay. We all got that chip on our shoulders now because the same people that was sucking us, giving us this love, using us for all their memes, posts, all the fanfare is kind of turning against them, and it's like now we're starting to see who's the real, who's the fake. So that's interesting within itself. What I can say though is you got to be careful with a team like this. They had too many times where they just proved their resolve over and over and over and over again. So that being said, it's a dangerous thing to just completely write them off or whatever, because they're seeing everything that you're saying and they're bringing it back. So from what I saw with the interview, it just seemed like a weight was lifted off Draymond's shoulder. I feel like now he feels like he could turn up and be himself even more, and really, he secured his bag. He hears the naysayers. He feels like it's a new era within. It looks like he just has like a new glow to him because he's not under the microscope with the whole Kevin Durant situation. But my thing is he has to be careful because he cost his team a championship before. Essentially, he looked like he cost his team Kevin Durant. So he has to really be careful about how he's approaching the new situation. The money, training, everything. He has to be 100% professional. He's gonna have to leave all that technical crap in the past. He's gonna have to really grow up and shape up, which he seems that he's basically doing in this interview. But looks can be deceiving, especially with somebody like Draymond Green. He's fine 1 minute, the next minute he's jumping out the gym screaming about a call. One thing though to point out about the whole Warrior situation, Draymond Green, all those guys. Now that Kevin Durant is gone, there's no more hoopla about the situation in Golden State. Now it's all about basketball. If you let a championship team, just focus strictly on basketball and no outside distractions, they're going to be potent. So I expect the Warriors to really be potent, make the playoffs. I don't expect them to win a championship this year, coming year, but I expect them to compete. And that's one of the things that you can see in Draymond's eyes. Like, you can see something that he has the eye of the tiger, and the Warriors, Clay, Draymond, Steph, they're going to come out to compete. I say compete. Hoops Junction, Hoops Meets Hoopla. Like, comment, subscribe.